fabulous people. So I am back to do the wrap up of the card I drew for day 7 of the Gratitude Tarot Challenge. And if you're following along, the card I drew was the Three of Swords from the Alice Tarot. So I initially drew this card and thought, oh no, what is today going to bring in relation to the Three of Swords and where I'm going to need to be looking for gratitude. And thankfully, I can say it didn't revolve around the meaning of the card, but more different aspects that I noticed in this card. Now, when I first finished the video last night, I was just looking at the card aesthetically wise. The first, I think, word that came to mind was tears. And I didn't process what that was going to mean. I mean, there was that, oh God, what's tomorrow going to bring? Is there going to be a cause for tears? But it was just tears. Tears was the first thing that for some reason came to my mind. And this morning I get a phone call from my mum, thankfully, because being a obviously not so great daughter, forgot that my dad was going in to have cataracts removed off one of his eyes today. Now, he had one of his eyes done 2 weeks ago, and since then has been able to see pretty clearly out of that eye, hasn't been able to wear his glasses that he's been wearing for, God knows how long. And today was the getting the second one done and all of that. And all of a sudden when Mum called, it brought back this association of tears that I related to this card. And, because you have that surgery done, I don't know from personal experience, only my dad's experience with his first one 2 weeks ago. The eyes are itchy and sore and watery and all of that. And so in that moment, as I thought back to me first looking at, her wiping her eye, her wiping her tears, and having that come to me, was this gratitude. And it was both in the sense of gratitude that, my dad was being fixed, for want of a better word, that his eyes were being tended to, so they were being sorted out. So the gratitude for that. But that went even bigger and vaster than that, and spread into this gratitude for how incredibly lucky we are to have come so far with medical treatments. And yep, we've still got so far to go. But there was just so much gratitude around that. And then it took me to all different places, and things like, if it wasn't for modern medicine, it was 10 years ago, coming up 10 years very soon, that my dad was diagnosed and treatment started for bowel cancer. And if it wasn't for modern medicine, he wouldn't be here today. He wouldn't be here undergoing this cataract removal from his eyes today. So there was a lot of gratitude that came from just that initial word that came to my head of tears, and really noticing her wiping away the tear at her eye, and it just built and it extended and it went on from there, and then it went even further than, my dad's cancer from 10 years ago, and how he wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that, how so many people have been helped, cured, had symptoms reduced because of modern medicine. And yeah, we can pull all the faults out of everything, and as we can with anything in life, but it was a true moment of just being grateful that despite so much shit that is currently going on, that has been going on for a very long time, the here and now stuff of the past, that we have such great advancements and they're happening all the time. And yes, we all want to say we want them to happen faster, and we do, but we're still so blessed that we have that. And I'm blessed that I live in a country where healthcare is accessible, and that it's not a country where you can only access healthcare if you have the financial capacity to do so. So there was a lot of gratitude around just that one little start to it for me, in the word tears and her wiping her eye. And then the other thing that really stood out to me in this card is, you know, you see her and it's Alice, and, you know, if you know the story, she's all sad because she's too big to fit through this little doorway here. And I was doing reading today, and it's for part of a group that I'm a part of, and I'm very much a person that I just want to learn and learn and learn and go and go and go and get more and more knowledge. But sometimes that comes at the cost of not allowing that knowledge to sink in. Okay? And over the course of the last week in particular, but today with what specifically I was reading in line with these studies today, it really got my head to the place of stop thinking about being in the big room. Stop thinking about knowing it all and having it all. Just start with the little bit. Start with the one aspect. You know, we're always aiming for the big. We're always aiming to, and I know that she's not happy being in this big room, but if we take out the context of the card, this is how I was viewing it. It was stop aiming for having, you know, this whole big room, and be content to just acknowledge this one little space for the time being. And I was really grateful to have that realization, because particularly in this study that I'm currently doing, if I'm rushing ahead and learn, it's all good and well to take the information in, but if we're not stopping and we're not putting it into practice and into motion, then we're not getting anything out of it. So it was just again the visual of this little tiny door that you could only see a small aspect of the outside world in, by comparison to if you were sitting in this big room where you could see everything clearly and everything all around you. It was just that moment of gratitude that I have come to that realization that it is okay to slow down. In fact, it's more than okay to slow down and take my time. It's imperative that I slow down and take my time and do bit by bit. You know, and even with some things I'm reading, do sentence by sentence when it comes to different aspects of that. So those were definitely like those main bits of gratitude that I really got out of it. And even with, you know, this noticing, hey, look at the beautiful lavender, I believe it is, that's outside this little door. You know, we're almost aiming for the big, for the what's in here, what does this look like, what's happening inside this world. But what about that, just that one little piece that we see on the outside, or that one little piece we can acknowledge on the inside of us, rather than focusing on everything all at once. So even though it was the Three of Swords draw, the Three of Swords card, it was simple gratitude, but such heartfelt gratitude, and I really took a lot from it, as I have done with every one of these, whether it's been the cards that have made me go really in depth or the ones that have just given me very simple moments of being able to practice that gratitude. So that's it. That's the last official card that I will be drawing. Now, I'm not going to do it as part of this video. I'm going to keep this one short as well. Shocker. But I am going to come back tomorrow. I do have my weekly reading that I want to get done and recorded so I can get that uploaded. So it will depend on how much time I have tomorrow. But it'll be either tomorrow or the next day, and possibly the next day too, because I want to be all caught up, like I'm caught up thus far, following everyone who's doing this. And even if I haven't commented on yours, I have watched it, I assure you. I know I've got a lot of people to respond to in my videos as well, and I will get to that. It has been a little bit of a crazy week of sorting out kind of bigger life things that need to be done and dusted and put in place. But I'm getting to it, I promise, and I do appreciate every one of the comments. I have read them all thus far. I just haven't got to responding to them. So I will definitely be back within the next day or two to do an overall reflection of this Gratitude Tarot Challenge, because I have a lot of reflections that have come out of this, as I know everybody who has partaken in this so far has found as well. And I'm hearing people talk about how shocked they've been at kind of what's come out of this for them. And even though I was the one who set this challenge, even though I've done gratitude work for years and years and years now, and I'll talk more to that when I do my recap as well, what has come out of this weekly challenge for me has shocked the shit out of me in the best possible ways. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll chat about the rest in the next video that I end up doing around this. So thank you all for following along with me. Thank you to everyone who has partaken. To anyone who's still thinking about it, just because I finished my 7 days, just because other people have, it doesn't mean you can't start yours. And even though it may seem like a time-consuming thing to do on a daily basis, and as I said back at the beginning, you don't have to be commenting every day. If you are a content creator, you don't have to be making videos every day, but it is so well worth doing. And I'm not saying that just because I created the tag. It's nothing to do with that. It is genuinely because I know myself, and I know from listening to other people who have partaken in this, how freaking incredible this experience has been. And I really want as many people as possible to get the benefit of doing this. All right, I'm gonna shut up and stop talking now, or I'll ramble on forever. Thank you again. Love to all. Mwah. Bye.